Another, people would say, upsetting loss. Liverpool loses to Leeds 2-1. Exactly, at home.
At Anfield. The fortress. The craziest thing about this loss for Liverpool is the fact that it ends Virgil van Dijk's 70-game home unbeaten streak. 70 consecutive games at Anfield. If Virgil van Dijk is in the team, they don't lose. That was the end of this run. It's unbelievable that first of all, you got to give credit to VVD to have a 70-game home unbeaten run. That tells you all you need to know about how good of a player he is / was, and how good those Liverpool teams were in the past.
Of course.
However, we have to focus on today. And let's just be honest, Liverpool are not a great team at the moment. From front to back, they're just not a great team at the moment. You know, ultimately in this game, there were a couple guys that need to be looked at. First of all, Joe Gomez. Terrible performance.
Terrible.
And it goes beyond the fact that he basically gifted Leeds a goal. You know, I hope he got the assist because he basically gave Rodrigo a perfect pass to finish into an open net. I mean, you never want to get the assist against your team, but that's what Joe Gomez essentially did. But beyond that, it was not a great performance from him. You know, on the ball, it just wasn't a great performance. Darwin Núñez, he has to be looked at. At the end of the day, you expect more from your guy that you paid $80 million for. You know, you expect more. He had a couple chances where you expect him to be able to put him away. I have to give credit to Meslier from Leeds, a great goalkeeping performance to keep some of those shots from Darwin Núñez out of the goal.
Yeah.
But when you pay $80 million for a striker to replace Sadio Mane,
he should be making those goals.
He needs to be making,
without a doubt.
He needs to be making some of these opportunities that he's getting, and he just wasn't able to get him in the back of the net today. So you have to look at Darwin Núñez, and this goes not only for this game but in previous games. You know, he just hasn't quite lived up to what you expect.
Facts.
So far this season. And then the other thing for Liverpool is their midfield. You know, their midfield has not been great this season, and especially not today against Leeds. It's not the same midfield. Fabinho is not the same player. You know, Curtis Jones, you know what I mean? Like it's just not looking good for Liverpool on the midfield side of things. They have issues that stem bigger than their big stars. They still have Alisson, who's a great goalkeeper. They still have Van Dijk. We know how good he is. They have Mo Salah. But the problems are just in the rest of the team.
Facts.
I said it at the time. They needed to replace Sadio Mane better, and they didn't.
However, takeaway I got from it, Leeds, they put on a show.
They did.
And they clutched it up at the end. Like at the end, they got the goal towards the end. They clutched it up.
From Somerville, and it was a great finish from Somerville.
And I think an overall, pretty much, like the big, that is a takeaway, but the biggest takeaway is that Liverpool has just been underperforming the season.
The whole season.
Exactly, the whole season.
Yeah. I mean, at this rate, they're closer to the relegation side than they are the top four. That tells you all you need to know about Liverpool at the moment.
And usually they're destined to be in the top four always.
Well,
pretty much.
Recently, you know, they were right there with Manchester City contending for the league. You know, they were that second best team. They won the league over Man City a few years back. You know, they were that good. And if Man City weren't as good of a team as they were, Liverpool would have probably won, you know, 3 to 4 Premier Leagues, you know, over the last couple of years. This season, they're just not the same team. And whether that comes down to, you know, they weren't able to make the proper signings, they didn't replace Sadio Mane properly, whatever it comes down to, they're not the same team. And it's time to start accepting that Liverpool are not the same team that they were and look at them with different expectations. Because now, you have to look at Liverpool and say, they'll be lucky to finish 4th right now. If they can somehow salvage the season and finish 4th in the league, they'll be praying to the gods saying thank you. Because at the very moment, they look destined for potentially the Europa League.
Ooh. And that's a hell of a step down.
Oh, it is. I will say, though, even though they've been underperforming massively, I don't think Liverpool should be looking at Jurgen Klopp and saying it's time to go. I do not think that they should be looking at sacking Jurgen Klopp, and if they do, do that relatively soon, I think they'd be making a huge mistake.
Give him some time.
I think that you have to give him some time. You have to properly make some signings in the transfer window. I think that they're going to have to. There are key issues with the squad that need to be addressed. And once that happens, if Liverpool still underperform, then you can look at Klopp. However, I think you give him a little bit more time. I think you have to at this very moment.
Good coach.
He's a great coach. And I want to give a quick little credit to Jesse Marsh, the Leeds coach, the American coach. Good performance. You know, you have to clap your hands and say to beat Liverpool at Anfield, under all of the scrutiny and pressure Jesse Marsh has been under as an American coach coaching in the Premier League, you have to give him credit for what he did, because he got the team of Leeds to buy in to what he was saying, and ultimately it was a passionate performance. It was a great performance, and Somerville with the great finish to tie it all together. You got to give credit to Jesse Marsh. He's bought himself some more time, because some people were saying he might be getting sacked soon. He might be getting the sack. He's bought himself some more time with this Leeds team, and you got to give him credit for that.
Facts.
As an American coach, he's under a lot of pressure in England, so I respect him for being able to do this job.